Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post in our Concord, North Carolina studios. From our Mifflintown, Pennsylvania Lethal Chassis studios, it's Ashley Strummy. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
Steve, the cold weather has set in here in Pennsylvania, so I'm excited to get south down with you here shortly.
Yes, indeed. You'll be down here this weekend and into next, and it's going to be a great, great time as all dirt roads lead to Charlotte. Prior to all dirt roads leading to Charlotte, the World of Outlaws returned to their roots, to the Devil's Bowl Speedway for the Outlaw Sprint Car Stampede. Devil's Bowl, this will be the final race at the racetrack, and this is the track that hosted the first World of Outlaw race in 1978. So a lot of reminiscing, a lot of really, really neat moments. But when it came to the racing, Ashley, on Friday night, it was 2023 with Carson Macedo and that Jason Johnson Racing picking up the win.
Yes, it was cool to see that 41 back in victory lane. Obviously, Devil's Bowl was one of Jason's favorite tracks. He actually won there in 2017. So I think it was very fitting to see that 41 and Carson and Little Jax on the wing as well.
Little Jax is no longer Little Jax, Ashley. I mean, that was stunning to me. It's like, and it makes sense. But really, really neat to see Jason get the win or Jason's team get the win, Carson get the win. The family was all there. Really, really fun stuff. Macedo over David Gravel and Brad Sweet. And on Saturday night, wild stuff. 2 open reds. Took more than an hour to compete. But Ashley, once we got going and when we got to the finish, they made up for it with that ending.
Yes, I will not lie. I woke up the next morning. I did not get to watch the race, but the first thing that popped up on my phone was that Trent Gower photo, that photo finish. Holy moly. David Gravel just inched it out over James McFadden. Absolutely incredible photo. If you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out.
87th career World of Outlaw win for David Gravel, and in 17 attempts, his first one at Devil's Bowl, and a photo finish. What a way to end it at Devil's Bowl. Gravel, McFadden, and Donnie Schatz on the podium. Speaking of Texas, Chase Randall is one of the young guns from Texas. He's the 360 Knoxville champion with 4 wins, has 4 410 wins, and coming up next, he'll join us on the Sage Fruit Hotline.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. Let's go to the Sage Fruit Hotline. Joining us, I believe from home in Waco, Texas, is Chase Randall. Hello, Chase. How are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Now, we kind of had a little chit-chat beforehand. You live in Waco, Texas, although you haven't been in Waco, Texas. You've had a heck of a season, but it's got to be good to be back home first time since the spring, right?
It is. It's been the first time since March, so to be home is it's like no other, but we know we love, being able to travel and getting to live out the racing and our dreams, going up and down the road. It's been a lot of fun this year, going to different places all across the country, but, there's no place like home, and it's good to get some needed rest time before we finish the year off.
Chase, you kind of just said it, obviously, Texas to California to Pennsylvania and probably 900 states in between. But what is it like on the road? Are you in the hauler? Are you flying? Do you have people's places that you rest at throughout the journeys across the country? What does that travel kind of look like for you?
I feel like, speaking of, people driving our trucks, we drove out to California for the Trophy Cup this past weekend, and luckily enough, got to fly home yesterday because we got someone to drive our truck, for the first time home. But other than that, it's me, my dad, and our crew, Danny. Driving everywhere we went to Pennsylvania a couple times this year, down to Missouri once or twice, and then all across the Midwest where we've been racing. It's just us guys, in the truck. And, we have a house in Knoxville that we stay at, kind of like our home base throughout the year. We we've been running at Knoxville for their season these past couple of years, and then traveling up all over that mid region, kind of as our home. But other than that, it's hotels along the way, where we're traveling.
Well, that's the hotel life with the sprint cars, that's for sure. So when you look at it, Chase, you won the 360 championship this year at Knoxville. You have 4 wins in the 410, those wins coming up at Houston Speedway. Just how would you assess your first season in 410 and your continued development in the 360s? How would you grade yourself? What'd you learn along the way here?
Well, I feel like, looking at it on the a scale, you can't be too hard on yourself. Grading wise, but I feel like for our first year and the competition that we've been racing at and the tracks we've been to, I feel like we've done extremely well at. Seeing a lot of new places for the first time, and racing with the high limit series, the best guys, and we've done really well at that. And I think we've had a lot of places that we've kind of excelled at, and some that we've struggled, but we're learning at the same time. And I feel like we've got a long way to go. So it's been really nice having that success early, and a lot of people that we've been able to talk to and help out along the way has helped us get to where we are and be fast so quickly.
Talking about Knoxville, obviously the Nationals this year, you were the Rookie of the Year. You got to start the A main. Talk about what that was like, the atmosphere and the build-up, and then you actually making the A main and being the Rookie of the Year. What does that mean to you?
It meant the world, and I feel like that's been one of the biggest accomplishments for me this year. And one of my big goals was, looking at the start of this year, looking at the Nationals and being able to run the 360 for the past couple years and then get in the 410. I feel like the atmosphere on the Nationals is just insane. It's one of the biggest race of the year, I feel like. And to be a part of it for the first time this year was absolutely incredible, and it meant a lot. And then to have so much success there during that week, because kind of everything we worked for this year leading up to that was, everything paid off. And to be the Rookie of the Year and accomplish one of my big goals was incredible, and it meant the world. And have the trophy, hanging up in my room, so I get to look at it every day is pretty cool.
Pretty cool for sure. I want to talk about another crown jewel race, because you did well at the Nationals, but the Tuscarora 50 over at Port Royal, that's Ashley's home track over there. So you were right in her neighborhood. You led a bunch of it. You had a 3rd place finish. What did that mean to go another crown jewel race and get your first podium in one of those crown jewel races?
That was pretty unexpected, really. To go to Port Royal at a track that a lot of people struggle at for a long time before they can kind of figure that out. And it was really cool for us to go there for the first time and be so fast and have a chance at getting a big crown jewel at our like you said, our first year in the 410. So it was really, really cool for me to to be up there and leading as many laps as we did. And it just it's unfortunate, the kind of the ending we had, but can't hold our head about a 3rd place finish at one of the biggest races, and leading as many laps as we did. But just really, really cool to be that for the first time.
Chase, I have to be honest with you. My husband is not a big push start car guy. He will watch them and he enjoys them. And so when you were leading, he's like, "Who's that? Who is that?" I'm like, "That's Chase Randall." "Who is it?" I'm like, "He's a 19-year-old kid." Talk about what it's like being that 19-year-old kid racing against guys like Lance DeWeese, who are seasoned veterans, or even, the top guys that you're racing with the high limits, whoever it may be. Having those guys to lean on, knowing that you are unfortunately still just a kid at this point in your career.
It's been pretty cool to be able to race with those guys. I've done a lot of talking with Rico a lot this year, because we run the same kind of chassis, and we've been traveling around a lot of the same tracks, doing a lot of talking with him, and racing with all the best guys. It helps me get a lot better, I feel like, because if you want to better yourself, you got to race with the best competition. And we travel around racing with all those, the best, like I said earlier. And I feel like I've done that a lot. We've done that a lot my whole career, starting out in quarter midgets and racing with their national touring series, and then to the micros, raced at all the big events to race with the best competition, because that kind of it helps improve your game, and then you kind of see where you stack up.
Yeah, no doubt. You got to run against the best of them. That is for sure. Hey, we need to do this. We need to take a commercial break. So Chase, hang in there with us. Everyone else, stick around. More with Chase Randall in just a moment.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. We are talking on the Sage Fruit Hotline to Chase Randall, one of the young phenoms in the sport. We're going to be talking about him and to him a long time in the future, I am sure. And Chase, one of the things Ashley and I like to do on this show is we like to poke around, snoop around on your social media, and find out what is life like away from the racetrack for you. Now, you only talk about racing on your social media. I saw one video of a zoo visit. What do you like to do when you're not at the racetrack? I know you work on the race car and everything else. What are some things you enjoy doing when you're not working on the race car or at the racetrack?
Yeah, it's we're pretty lucky to be able to race all up and down the road, but we take those off days, we take them 100%, and we like to do anything we can to kind of get that relaxing time. But I love playing golf, and I haven't been able to play a lot this year because we've been so busy, but I really enjoy playing during the off season, and it's kind of one of the sports I can't really hurt myself in, so I get to enjoy that, and getting to travel around and see sights. When we're in those towns that we get to travel to for racing, and we got to see a zoo in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago before the Tuscarora, actually, and then just getting to see some sights all around the country has been really cool, and been lucky enough to do that for racing.
So obviously at home, do you have a dog? We always talk about dogs, weddings. It seems like, I'm trying to think, babies. I know you probably don't have 2 of those 3.
No, I do have it. I do have a dog, and love getting to see him whenever he gets home. Or
That's cool. That is cool. Fun stuff. What's your dog's name? What kind of dog is he?
So he's a cockapoo. He's a little small dog, but he's actually my brother's dog. And when he got him, he named him Zeus. So he's kind of a funny name because he's just a little guy, but we love him.
I love it. All right. So obviously the season is winding down. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte. What does the rest of your schedule for this year look like?
Yep. So we're gonna head to Charlotte, following the next weekend for the World Finals, to head out there for the first time and be a part of a big event. Something I've looked at in the past couple of years and didn't want to go. So we're lucky enough to be able to go out there and race for a big event, and then we're gonna head home, and then I'll fly back to Pennsylvania the next weekend and race for Aaron Long in the 58 car for AL Driveline, and at BAPS for their $25,000 to win race. And then we'll be done for the year racing wise. We'll have a couple of banquets, then head to the PRI show, and then a couple of days later I'll fly to Australia for the second time and race. During our off season, I'll race down there for about 20 events until the end of January, and then fly back home and prepare for the next 2024 season.
Man, it is so cool. You talk about flying to Pennsylvania. You're going to be running the 58 car there. You were out at Gold Cup, and you ran for Paul Silva in the number 57 car. You've got your team. You ran for TKS at times. What's it like? How do you piece that together? What's it like bouncing back and forth? And are there similarities, or does everyone run different chassis? How does that all work for you?
Being able to race so many different cars and different chassis and with different people, it makes you see, there is a lot of similarities between them all, and kind of getting to see what people do a little bit different and kind of how it works, because you're always trying to achieve the same, same as a driver. You want to have the same feel in the race car, and to see people kind of get that by doing different things has been really cool. And it's allowed me to, when I go to different rides, talk to, kind of compare we did some things with this team and kind of how we can achieve that and get really comfortable, and have had a lot of success along the way doing, making the nationals with the TKS crew, and then going out to the Gold Cup for the first time and racing for Paul Silva, and the 57 team was really special for me, and been really fortunate to race for some good teams along the way this year.
Case, how you talk about sitting in those cars and everything being different. How difficult is it for you? I mean, are you the one laying out your schedule? Like, are you looking at 2024 going, hey, I'd like to race here, I'd like to do this, and then you're trying to make the logistics happen? And then are you making phone calls to get these rides when the family car can't go there?
We this year we kind of set our schedule out with our car, racing as much as we can with the 410, not knowing at all what I was going to get these phone calls. But we've started racing our family 410 this year, and just have had a lot of success. And us doing the best we can just kind of led into that, and me receiving those phone calls really. And no, that was a really cool confidence booster for me, getting those big phone calls from guys like Paul and different teams around the country who were really interested in me.
I can imagine. I really can. You mentioned going to Australia. You went down there last year. One of your team owners, actually, Danny Mason, is from Australia. What's that like to go down there and race? The different culture, the different racetracks. What was that like last year?
It was really special, honestly, to go down there. We're racing or sprint car racing down there is huge. So many people are involved, and I feel like the places that we raced, the stands are always packed, and the atmosphere is just insane there. I feel like most of the tracks they're kind of in like bowls and kind of beneath the stands really, and they're always packed all the way around, and just the culture is really cool, and getting to race at all new places with the teams down there, and getting to meet so many people. And the Australian people are so nice, and will take you in, and it's kind of different down there. There's not too many hotels along the way, so you're staying a lot of people's houses, friends of friends, and it's just a really cool, special place down there.
That sounds awesome. That really, truly does. Final question, and maybe the most important question. All right. Your sponsor is Bush's Chicken. Bush's is a franchise down in the Texas area, and your dad has a couple of restaurants in the franchise. But for those of us not familiar with it, what is the go-to? When I go to Bush's, what do I need to have? What is your go-to at Bush's Chicken?
So I feel like Bush's is famous for a couple of things on the menu. There's the sweet tea is the best. I feel like you can't go wrong with the sweet tea. So in every gallon, you can go to the store and buy gallons of tea, and in every gallon there's a pound of sugar. So it's amazing.
That's crazy.
And
that
then,
is.
Then you can't go wrong with the chicken tenders, because the tenders is the best part of the chicken. It's kind of like the filet mignon, you could say. There's only 2 tenders per chicken, so they're really special and they're really tasty.
Chicken tenders and sweet tea. Sounds like a winning combination. The filet mignon of chicken. I love that. That sounds great. Chase, it is such a pleasure to talk to you. We appreciate you taking some time out. We're glad you're getting a little R&R time at home before you head over here to Charlotte. But thanks for joining us, and we wish you continued success. We'll look forward to seeing you down the road.
No, thank you for having me.
There we go. Chase Randall, the quickest chicken, is one of the nicknames that he has, joining us here on the Sage Fruit Hotline. Stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post, and boy, the future is bright with youngsters like Chase Randall and that family team. He turned some heads up there in your neck of the woods and everywhere else really across the board, Ashley.
He sure did. It's funny. I feel like this is who we were talking about a few years back when we were talking about Gio Scelzi, right? Like that young blood just coming in. So our sport is definitely headed in a great direction.
Really, truly is. Fun stuff, that is for sure. Speaking of young talent, the Trophy Cup was out in California, out at, oh my gosh, brain fade on this one, Tulare. I always struggle with this one, Tulare. 17-year-old phenom Corey Day picked up the win. He charged in the finale to 20th to second. The leader's car was booted out because of tech inspection, and he got the win. And Ashley, it was a big win for Corey Day.
Absolutely. He actually clinched the championship, the points championship, before his win, but $29,000 richer because of it. But Steve, I've got to say, like, I know that no racer wants to win by default of the first place guy, right? But when you come from 20th to second, dude, you've earned it.
You really did. And that's one of those races where you may win the trophy cup and not win the race. That's one of those point races that just accumulates. He did it all by the end of the day and the end of tech. His dad, Ronnie Day, a former winner of it. So they become the second father-son combination. And when you're joining Brent and Tim Kading in a category, you're doing something really, really well. Ashley, the other thing with Trophy Cup is we all know it is a big race, but a big donation as well to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yes, a huge event all around, and what they do is absolutely incredible. This year, $200,000 was donated to Make-A-Wish.
Man, oh man, I love what they do out there for sure, and a good time out in California. 360 Racing continues hot and heavy this week. It's the 36th annual Comp Cam Short Track Nationals. This is annually an event that's been held at I-30 in Little Rock, and it's one of the marquee events. It's everybody in, Steve Kinzer, Paul McMahon, Jason Myers, Sammy Swindell, they've all won this race. Little Rock went away. Step in Tim Crowley at 67 Speedway in Texarkana, and that's where we're having it this weekend, Ashley.
Yes, and Tim, obviously no stranger to this sport, a 1998 Short Track Nationals champion, so it is absolutely in good hands.
Yes, it is. 61 entries. It is in good hands, and somebody's going to walk out of there with a nice check. They have a prelim night on Friday night, $1,500 to win. Saturday night, $20,000 to win. The winner last year was Sam Haferteep Jr., and you can count on him and a whole bunch of others to be in the mix as well. Ashley, we're getting down there a little bit, but they're racing next door to you guys over in New Jersey this weekend.
Yes, Bridgeport Speedway for the Kingdom of Speedway, Friday and Saturday night, a little bit of a Sprinttober fest, if you will. So taking it over there to that track that they cut down in the last few years. So it'll be interesting to see how that rolls off.
$15,000 to win on Saturday night, and the King of the West Series is at Kern County Speedway in Bakersfield, California, picking up where they left off. 2 more races to go. This is the next to last race. Big news in the sprint car world, and we're not ignoring it. We record this before some pending announcement is supposed to happen this week. So if you're watching us on Wednesday night on Rev or watching us on Mav TV and say, hey, they didn't talk about this, there's all kinds of speculation. We don't speculate around here. It's an interesting time in the sprint car. Well, let's leave it at that, Ashley. It's an interesting time in the sprint car world, right?
It absolutely is. You're 100% right, Steve. We can speculate all we want, right? But it's not raining gumdrops and sugar plums. So we'll just leave it to the powers that be.
That's exactly right. So there you have it. And stay tuned. It is going to be a wild ride. That is for sure. We appreciate Chase Randall joining us here on the program. So great to talk to some of our young talent. One thing real quick. Great Christmas gift. ShopWingNation.com. ShopWingNation.com. They make great Christmas gifts. She's Ashley Stremme. I'm Steve Post. Thank you for joining us this time on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.